All right, welcome to good old Barton level 8. She's not easy. This is an unusual book. This actually starts very hard. Almost all students struggle with the beginning of this. I've had a handful that haven't, but it is really typical for your student to struggle with the beginning of this book. It does actually get easier when we get into the advanced vowel teams. They become a little bit easier than these endings. The vocabulary ramps up. Everything is just a little bit harder. It's a little bit, it's a little bit kind of out there. Some of the stuff that we're working on, it seems straightforward. It is confusing though. It's confusing for the students. These are a lot of endings that they've been guessing at for a very long time. We're going to try and put the power back into their hands and back into their pens and pencils so that they know what to do. So let's just start with a quick overview about what they learned, okay? So your student learned that when you hear at the end of the word, it's simply going to be spelled with an I and an A, okay? And this is a new suffix tile. I should actually do this in green because we do consider the AN a suffix tile, okay? And AN means it's related to the base word. So I'm Minnesotan. It's related to Minnesota. Indian is related to India. So we're working on those. Scandinavian, Scandinavia. All right, so all of those. Then we also talked about the next rule, which is California, Californian. And so the reason that we talk about that is because of the spelling. It's very difficult to spell that, California, without slowing it down. California. Once I slow it down, and that's usually what I'm doing when I'm writing. You know, if I'm writing a long word like that, I'm going to slow it down, hear all the sounds, and then be able to write it. Californian, Californian. Kind of slurred at the end, so we're giving them some good explicit teaching so that they can really understand what how to spell it when they hear that. All right, so then we worked on militia, Asia. Sha is spelled TIA or SIA, but SIA is only in the names of countries, regions. Ja is going to be spelled SAI, just like almost all of the things that we're working with when it comes to S, like sure and jur, or shun and jun. We have the same thing with sha and ja. If the sound right before it is vibrating in my throat, a ja, then it's going to come out like that ja sound, like that. Okay, if it does not vibrate before it, like ra, sha, then it will just say sha. It won't vibrate. It'll just say ra, sha, just your sha right there. So students might need to look up if they're unsure, like a question mark IA on some of these if they're unsure. Here's another one. Shun is only spelled CIAN when it means a career or a field that ends in ick, okay? An optician, a musician, a magician. So CIAN is what we use at the end of those words when they are relating to a career or a field. Okay, that is it. It's a lot though. It really is. It's challenging for your student. This was a very long lesson to teach. We do a lot of examples. Nonetheless, it's actually pretty difficult. Okay, so let's get into our practice stuff, extra practice pages. All right. We're going to start off with reading a phrase in the first column, decide if it's a who, a did, what, a where, when, why, or how. Okay, so the word do is a signal to me that this is a why phrase. Y always goes with because, due to his amnesia, because of malaria. So that would be a Y phrase. So you would need to write Y in here somewhere. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. Good enough. Okay, on and in often go together, or on Wisteria Lane. We could say in Russia. We've got that is again going to be a where. Victoria and Sophia are going to be whose. By Cambodia and near Tasmania, that will be a where. Will be a comedian, will be the custodian, is going to be a did what? I will be a comedian, I will be the custodian, and the militia and a civilian will be a who or a what. It's the subject of the sentence. Okay, the next part is working on sight words. Only one sight word will turn it into a real sentence. Circle that word and then read the sentence. If your student has a big no or not yet written on the top of it, then we didn't get to that teaching part of it, which is probably pretty common. That's a lot of pages to turn, even starting at the very beginning of the lesson, but I'll give you the answers nonetheless, just in case. Okay, we're working on a real sentence here. The Scandinavian magician hid the rabbit in the hat behind the mulberry bush. The cosmetician picked up her scissors and said, let's go over to the mirror to fix your hair. Lydia and Virginia dined at the Peruvian restaurant. Gloria's brother lifted her spirits by making her favorite spaghetti. The buzzing fly was a terrible nuisance. I hope the politician from the Philadelphia area will follow through. Alexandria was so hungry that she ate all the rest of, it should say the cereal in the pantry. It's a typo. Okay. Lastly, we've got IA, IAN, TIA, SIA, and CIAN. So we're going to make real words. So we've got phobia, custodian. We've got inertia, musician, Anastasia. Politician. Oh, what are we doing here? CIAN. Sorry, losing my mind for a second. Russia. Canadian. Veterinarian. Militia. Physician. And dyslexia. Okay, double check my work here. All right, so that's it. Now let's take a look at the fluency drills. All right, so these are long. Again, this book is really about taking back the guessing habit. Okay, we've talked about it for a long time, but this is where I start to see it come out. It just kind of rears its ugly little head again, and I get a lot of nonsense words that sound similar to what's on the page, but that's not it. So the whole point of these are really to ramp up their fluency, their understanding, their vocabulary, and their accuracy. So if they have not seen a word like amnesia, they will need to put it into smaller chunks. They need to decode it. They need to divide it up. Amnesia. Okay? Getting used to seeing these SIAs and TIAs and seeing them say ja and sha, it's for some students, it's pretty challenging and it might take a little while. All right, so let's do the word down here, Albania, together. All right, so this is what I would tell my student if they were working with them, or if they were working with me. I would say mark your vowels. So we've got our A, and our IA. Now these are always split. These are not a vowel team. Okay, so the A and the A here, that leaves my L and the B in the middle. I'm going to split down the middle. Now I've got my A and my I. I'm going to push that to the back, and I've already split my I and my A. My I and my A are going to be split everywhere, okay? I should have done that on amnesia, actually. No, I shouldn't have. Okay, I'll talk about that next. Okay, Albania, Albania. Okay, one thing that I forgot to mention that your student learned is that the SI and the TI, let's find one. Well, the CI for sure. And here's another CI, SI, CI. Okay, I don't see any TIs in this one. Those are actually digraphs, okay? So just as a reminder, digraphs are two letters that make one sound, okay? The more common digraphs that you know are SH, CH, TH, WH, CK. Those are kind of the common ones, right? CI, SI, and TI are uncommon. Nonetheless, they are still digraphs, okay? So TI, SI, and CI are digraphs. And they all say the sh sound. Or in case of SI, sometimes it would say zh. Okay? So, again, this is a lot going on here. A lot of new words, a lot of words that I don't want your student guessing at. I want them to feel in complete control and absolutely like they know what to do when they come across it. Here's a word that we're going to decode in our lesson. Okay, so let's work on that together, okay? This is tricky. This is a lot of stuff coming together. Here's all my vowels, okay? So I've got my E and my Y. I'm going to split here. I've got my Y and my E. I'm going to split here. I've got my ER, has to go together. And I've got my IAN. Got to keep my ER together, and then I split my I and my A and my N. My I and my AN. All right, so I've got pres. This is short. By. Tier. This says ear right here. They've already learned that. They learned that in level 7. An ER followed by a vowel will say ear right there. Presbyterian, Presbyterian, Presbyterian. That's that word. All right, let's look up at another one. Let's look up encyclopedia. You know, none of the kids know what encyclopedias are anymore. So this is a new, fresh word for them. So again, here's how I'm going to decode it. I'm going to mark my vowels, lots of them, right? And I've got my E and my Y split down. I got my Y and my O. This is a rotten letter right here. They usually stay together. Rotten letter meaning an R or an L. In this case, an L. We keep those blends together. I've got my O and my E, divide. I've got my E and my I, push it to the back, and then I split my I and my A. Okay, so I've got closed N, psi, open, clo, open, P, open, D, I followed by an A is going to say E, encyclopedia. All right, so good luck. It's a doozy. Take it slow. Make sure they feel in control. Make sure you have good syllable division and not a lot of guessing. Okay, so remember, reading isn't guessing. They're all good guessers. They're all smart kids. We want them to be able to read with accuracy. All right, have a great day. 8.1 is out.